Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week where two old guys, most of the time but not necessarily, talk about old games.
Yeah.
So this week, this is our final all-call show
Ever.
We're
done with
We're
them.
just erasing all of them after this point.
Done with them. We actually, honestly, might get through all the calls.
Yeah.
I mean,
That would be nice.
We're
Yeah.
We're nearing the bottom of the barrel. Not to say that the last ones we get are the worst, but we're running thin.
So yeah, maybe we'll catch up, and this will be the last all calls of 2015, and we'll start over. If we get more calls again, start over sometime in 2016. If. Well, before we dive in, I am your beard host, Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
And I was able to cram a semester's worth of 3 classes into 2 weeks of work.
You did it.
The last of which being a full semester of physics into 5 days.
I've always heard that's the best way to do it.
It's it's the Blake Woods method.
You know the old adage about doing physics, a semester of physics 5 days.
It's like it's really easy. Just go ahead and do it. Like, fuck, because like I talked about it before that I had just a little bit of time to do it because I just briefly looked at Blackboard and saw like, okay, I've got these 3 classes. I looked at it. Okay, 4 units. I click on it. It's just like the textbook and a quiz and a test. I was like, oh, okay.
It's not bad.
I could totally do that. Okay, I'll just read a chapter, take a quiz, take the test.
Yeah.
No problem. Cool. Great. So I waited. I did like the syllabus quiz that you have to take in order to like stay in the class and not get ejected after the first week.
What is a syllabus quiz?
That you read the syllabus and they ask you questions about it just to be like,
did you read this thing?
Yeah.
Can you
it's
read?
Basically, do you know about this class? Do you know this is your deadline? Do you know this and this and this and this?
Gotcha.
And you have to get 100 on it, and then you're in the class. You're fine.
Okay.
But after that, it's all 3 of my classes were self-paced.
Okay.
So
that's
they gave me the opportunity to procrastinate as much as I wanted.
Yeah.
No deadline. You just do it at your own pace. You're an adult. You're a responsible human being.
Yeah.
You won't fuck this up.
That sounds like a bonus.
And I was already pretty behind. Fallout 4 comes out. Then I get really fucking behind. Then I realize like, oh, I look down. All this ends in the middle of December. It's now December 2nd. Okay, so I'm able. The first 2 classes are like industrial safety classes. It's not too bad. It's more work than I thought because like one class was straight up read a chapter, take a quiz, read a chapter, take a quiz. Do this 10 times, and then you take a CPR test. I had to get recertified for CPR for adults, children, and AED and all that.
They don't just let you keep that forever?
No, it was a lot cheaper to go through it this way. Like when I got certified through the Red Cross, when I was going to be a personal trainer, because that's a requirement, I had to go I did half and half. I had to go to an online class and watch a ton of videos, and then pay like $100 to go to the Red Cross and like operate on dummies and do like a whole big thing, and then take a test there and then get certified.
Yeah.
But this one was watch some videos, take a test, pay $17, and you get your certification. Okay, great.
That's nice.
Great, perfect.
83% cheaper? Yes, please.
Yeah. So, and then I did that, and it was like 15% of my grade was just that.
Okay.
So, like, that one, no problem.
Yeah.
Easy. Second class, I clicked on a chapter, I clicked on a unit, and then it would be like, okay, well, looked like it was just like the last one. Okay, this will be easy. And then like another one pops up in the same unit. Another one pops up. So each one is like 5 chapters per unit. So then what I thought was going to be 5 chapters turned out to be 25 chapters.
Awesome.
And I knocked that out pretty easily. Nice thing was that this textbook was online. My first class was a physical textbook I had to have and read.
Okay.
This one was online as a searchable PDF.
Okay.
So
That sounds good.
that made it pretty
Yeah.
easy. So it's like, what's the information you need to know?
Copy,
there we
paste.
go. Perfect.
Answer.
All these tests are multiple choice. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So I got that one done. That was fine.
So what you're saying is you learned a lot.
Absolutely. I learned so much. But it's just like industrial safety shit. It's all,
Yeah.
it's kind of common sense.
Okay.
And then came physics.
Yeah.
5 days left. Here comes physics, which I've never had physics in my life.
Not high school, nothing.
Not high school,
Okay.
nothing. They didn't need it for theater majors, strangely enough.
Yeah.
They didn't have it in culinary school for some reason.
Yeah.
Because all of my real majors I dropped out of. Because I was a theater major for a while, and then I ended up as a philosophy major before I dropped out of Murray State and went to culinary school. Then went back for exercise science and nutrition. Didn't really have to do physics there either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had to do kinesiology, but that was totally different.
What is kinesiology?
The study of like muscles and their movement and things like that. So it had some physics elements to it, but not like genuine physics. So for this class, all right, 4 units. Oh man.
How'd you do?
It was fucking rough just because every unit had like 5 to 10 subchapters in it, plus a lab that I had to watch videos and actually like do the experiments and write down and do equations. And
How many of these experiments were porn experiments?
I mean, I would have been fine. I would have been totally fine then.
Is porn physics a class that you could take?
Is dead or alive boob physics? Is
Yeah.
that something that's a thing? And like, what took me forever was these labs. Every lab was just, oh man, they were painfully long. But I pulled.
Were you doing like Mr. Wizard kind of shit? Like what are the labs all about? Like did you have to like go to the grocery store, get your mom's supervision?
Well, there's like like University of Michigan has all these videos and tutorials you can go through, and they're interactive videos. So like I had to construct a ramp and roll a ball down a ramp, increase the friction and how high you move it and the mass and the weight and do all that. And
So no, like you didn't build a volcano out of paper mache or anything.
no, send it, mail it in. But I did 4 consecutive 12 to 14 hour days.
It explains why I didn't hear from you.
Yep, not at all.
Not a word.
Not at
Not
all.
a word.
So it sucked.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, right, Meg, Ken is all on you while I try to do this, Mom, because it was just, and when I did have to have her, I was like, you want to watch Sesame Street? Great. We're going to watch a lot of Sesame Street. So pizza and Elmo were my constant companion while I'm trying to do physics. But yeah,
Kenna's as well.
She's like, no, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
I'd like a cookie or I'm gonna cry. Cookie, Elmo, great.
Pizza roll.
I like classroom dad. This is nice.
How young is too young for a pizza roll?
She might. I don't know how chewy it would be for her. She might be able to do it.
Yeah. I'm just curious because I'm priming Henry up.
Because Henry Downs like 7 or 8 at a time already.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know if this is normal.
Because it was a thing where like now Kenna knows cuckoo is cookie. So she'll see like the Chips Ahoy bag and be like, cuckoo?
And you get offended.
Cuckoo?
What did you call me?
You know what the fuck you're talking about.
Watch yourself, Nurse Ratchet. Daddy's got physics to do.
So like, I mean, because the other day, like when we were doing that, like I'd already fed her too many cookies. It's just like, no, you don't need any more cookies. Cuckoo? No, you don't need any more cookies. Cuckoo peas? Fuck yeah.
Poopies.
Here's the whole box. You're fine. You said the magic word to get you. The first time I've heard you say the magic word is going to get you a long way. Here. I'll put on Cookie Monster so this will make more sense. But I actually enjoyed the nuclear physics portion because I was like, it's sort of like I'm playing Fallout.
All right, so if I find a fusion core inside an old Chinese crate, all right, I got one fusion core.
And I had Tony as a resource for asking questions.
Yeah, I saw you in chat.
Because there were a few, because it was frustrating because like I read the book and then I go to the lab and the lab has nothing in it. Like I
it sounds like it.
I took a slightly more advanced physics class than was necessary.
Okay.
Because the other one wasn't available to me.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get this done in 2 semesters.
Yeah.
So I had to take, instead of chemistry 141, I had to take 171. So I guess it's implied you had 141. So it's not asking me about the information I'm reading. It's asking me about other information. So I'm trying to like Google everything and watch YouTube videos for everything because they're asking questions that are not stated in this textbook.
Well, here's what's interesting to me. I'm glad you brought that up because I remember seeing you post in chat asking Tony a question that was, I mean, to Tony, I'm sure not advanced at all, but to me, like I read it and I was like, don't know what he's talking about. Have no idea what he's talking about. Well, I have no idea. I can't even begin to think what he's asking Tony. And then you tell me that the lab is rolling a ball down a ramp.
That was the first. That was the kinetic and potential movement like lab. Like the last one, that was
Gambit stuff.
Yeah, the last one was me trying to. Because I was asking Tony about. I had to figure out the alpha and beta half-life of various elements.
Yeah, I played Half-Life 2. So I wasn't in the beta though.
Because I'm not looking in the book. It's like it's not talking about this like at all, or how to figure this out. And these questions don't make sense to anything in the book. So I'm looking at outside resources, reading like fucking people's papers that they published online, trying to figure out what they're talking about, asking Tony because like what I ended up doing, I don't know if it was right or not, but like certain elements after they decay to a certain point turn into other elements. Yeah. And I think that's what they were asking me, so I just had to find out on my own, not using the textbook. I guess you're supposed to Google it because I don't know how you're going to have the information of what like thorium-117 turns into after so many years.
Water.
Yeah, just water. It's fine.
It's fine.
Everything's water, right?
Coke Zero.
That's why it took us so long to get Coke Zero. They just had a warehouse full of thorium and just waited to get Coke Zero.
Exactly.
Sort of like Element Zero and Mass Effect. They're pretty much the same thing. But I got that shit done, thank God. And it was nice after I was done. It was just like, oh, I can live life again.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Fallout 4.
Is that what you've been doing?
Because staring at a screen for 14 hours a day, like,
wasn't
doing
enough.
Physics, I was like, oh, God, this sucks. How does anybody do this? Yeah. But doing it for Fallout, no problem whatsoever. It's like 14 hours, that's all I've been playing.
Yeah. When do you find out how you did?
On one of my classes, I found it immediately, and I made an A. But the other two, like, portions of it had to be graded, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I pissed off my physics professor.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I remember I was almost, I thought I was going to get done a day early.
Yeah.
And because you had to finish all the components of this certain chapter before the next unit would unlock.
All right, okay.
So I finished everything up until the last chapter was nuclear physics. And I did everything to that point, and then that wouldn't unlock. And I was like, okay. So, like, God.
And when was this?
This was like 2 days before like the class shut down.
Okay.
I was like, fuck, I do not want to eat my professor.
No.
I do not want to do this. So like I'm contacting like the Blackboard administrator and I'm calling the school, like, can somebody unlock this for me? Like, nope. I had to email the professor. So then he got the email the day before the class was supposed to end. It's like, fuck, now I'm back on his radar. After I sent this guy an email like giving him shit for not opening the class on time, and now I'm waiting the last fucking second. But he just like, it is now unlocked for you.
Hey,
like, great, done.
Teacher dude, You don't have any like big winter break plans, do you?
Because as much as like I did physics, now you're gonna have to grade physics on that kind of scale to get it done. I feel like I'm the only person in your class because you weren't in a rush to even unlock it. Like you probably were like, because it's a self-paced class, all he has to do is just hit. Okay.
Either that or everybody else in the class was exactly like you, but you're the only one who was like, oh shit, I got to get this all done.
But yeah, I'm done and it's awesome. I feel I will not do that again. I will not do that again.
You got one more semester you're doing?
One more semester, more classes this time. I only had 3 in this semester. I have 5.
Ooh.
So
better email your professor right now.
Yeah.
Have that stuff unlocked.
And one of them being chemistry. I never had chemistry before, so
I feel like
get ready to talk to me a whole lot, Tony, because that's your thing.
Is this
physics? I was just like, he's a doctor. Because he's gonna know at least somewhat of what I'm talking about. But it's chemistry. Like I expect to coast.
Here's
Tony.
Here's what's fucked up.
Tony, here's my login information to Blackboard. You want a lot of TADPOG points? You want a new title?
What's sad is when I saw you post that question in there, I was like, I didn't know Tyler's taking chemistry. It's physics. I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference between chemistry and physics. As soon as like Tony started typing 2 capital letters followed by a number, I was like, that's chemistry. Oh, they're talking about elements? Chemistry.
What is that? What is PB112? Let me check Urban Dictionary. That's got to be some kind of slang. I don't know.
Oh, man, I was giving her the old PB12.
Is that some kind of like protein peanut butter that they're using for like weightlifting?
What's up, Internet? I'm Dave. I am your bespectacled host. And TADPOG really pulled through for me. Doing this show really came in handy. My creative director at work is from England. He was born in England and spent his childhood there until he moved to Canada. And we were talking about soda the other day, and he's got what do you call it? A Soda Stream? Is that the?
I've been tempted to look into that.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Me too. I remember seeing the Super Bowl commercial years back and thinking, oh yeah, I could save a lot of money, but that soda's probably disgusting.
I mean,
don't know.
Tentatively, you could save a lot of money. It is like the Soda Stream itself is like $100, and then buying all the different equipment
and the syrups and stuff.
The syrups and the CO2 containers and like shit like that. Like you're gonna save money, but I don't know how much money you're gonna be saving. And I've seen on our coffee people trying to use Soda Streams like on coffee.
Really?
And it's just like very rarely does it work. Most of the time it's just an explosion.
Oh, really? It
Yeah.
sounds like it would be awful.
Yeah, I can't imagine carbonated coffee is that good. I like to try to use it on wine and on coffee and stuff like that. Because like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's not supposed to. Oh, it's not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to do that.
You know what I want? I've got a hankering for some champagne, but I don't have that champagne money. I do have SodaStream money, and I do have some white wine.
I do have grain alcohol and grape juice. I'm gonna make some Appalachian champagne.
Sparkling Burple.
I'm pretty sure that's what Ripple was that Fred Sanford would talk about in Sanford and Son.
Oh man, I haven't seen Sanford and Son in a long time. So we were talking about soda, and he said, "My favorite soda, something you've probably never heard of." I was like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of soda. And he said, dandelion and burdock. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? Because I just had dandelion and burdock soda, and it is fucking awful. It was the worst soda I have ever had in my life. And he kind of like looked at me surprised, like he was very, very surprised that I had dandelion and burdock soda.
You Americans surely don't know what I'm talking about.
Because he said, I believe his exact words was, where did you have dandelion and burdock soda? I said, well, they're Midtown Market. They had a very expensive pack of sodas. He's like, are you shitting me? I was like, no, go and try it. It's awful. But I would love for you to like taste it and be like, yeah, that's what I remember. And I just have poor taste in soda. Or, no, this is awful. So he did. He tried it. So I wanted to come back for a report so we
okay.
could follow up on dandelion burdock. So he tried it, and he said that it was awful.
Okay.
So he said that is not what he remembers. But to be fair, he said it's been so long since he's had one, he doesn't know how much of it is
Just
nostalgia fucking with him.
Yeah.
So he says he remembers it. I thought it was weird because he said that the Fentimans, the brand that we tried on the show, was too sweet. And I was like, it was too sweet? Because I don't remember. I don't
Have
really
you
even
had
think-
American soda?
Yeah, I don't remember it being sweet at all.
You've been here for how long and had exposure to the American diet?
So I don't know. So the verdict is, as of right now, Fentimans is just not the way to go on dandelion and burdock.
I've never had it, but I really want to try dandelion wine.
I didn't know that was a thing. I know dandelion salad is a thing in this part of the country.
My
right?
mom used to eat that a lot. Like she grew up pretty poor because she was just her and her mom for most of her life. She was a surprise baby when my grandmother was 40. And then her dad died when she was 9. So it was just my grandmother and my mom. And my grandmother made a lot of, she would shoot squirrels in the yard.
Yeah.
And gather dandelion leaves and have like salad and stuff like that. My mom said it disgusts her to no end now that like she remembers being little, Nanny, which was what I called my grandmother, and what my mom wants Kendra to call her now. She would shoot a squirrel, bring it in, and Mom would take a large, heavy metal spoon and
brains, brains.
just smack the back of its head and crack it open and suck the brains out.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Your mom and my father had similar diets growing up because my dad has told me similar stories. He grew up poor, and he would tell me stories about shooting squirrels and then bringing them back home. And they didn't waste any of the squirrel. The brains were definitely eaten.
Because my grandmother would tell me stories about like horse-driven carriages and shit like that when she was little.
Yeah.
So like, and my grandmother was a quarter Cherokee.
Yeah.
So like that heritage was not that far from her. You would never guess that I have any of that by looking at me.
No, I totally see it in you.
See that?
Yeah, I totally see it in
me.
Yeah, I do. I never wanted to say anything just because on the off chance that maybe you weren't. I didn't want to offend you. I don't. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say you're ginger, but
you a little bit. Chippewa?
Chippewa?
It's Chippewa or it's Cherokee.
Yeah.
You're not Apache, clearly.
It's one or the other.
One of those ginger Chippewas.
I don't like
the Irish Chippewa, I believe. Known for their using all of the buffalo and their red beards. So
yeah. Yeah, asking somebody if they're part Native American is not a thing that I do. I don't really ask anybody where their heritage comes from. I don't, because it's like there's no it's such an awkward conversation that
especially for Americans, it's just like you can kind of assume what you are and what you might want to be because it sounds cool, but
yeah, it bothers me when it's like okay, so one side of my family is Italian heritage, has Italian heritage. The other side of my family has Irish heritage, and it's like I don't claim any of that. It's like I don't like when St. Patrick's Day rolls around. I'm not like, yeah, I'm Irish, baby. I'm like, I'm American, and I will.
I'm American. Excuse you.
Yeah. I just think it's weird when like I don't know. I get it, like right. I mean, I get like you should respect where your heritage comes from and all that, but at the same time it's like that's so far removed. Like that's so many generations ago where it's like I don't even know. I've never been to Italy. I'd love to go, but I've never been there. I've got no connection to Italy.
I mean, you went to Spain. You were pretty close.
Close enough.
Close enough.
So
yeah.
what I've done actually is now I just claim Spanish heritage. It's just wherever I've been. Yeah, I just claim that.
What are you? I'm Spanish and Mississippian.
Yeah, Illinoisan. Mississippi, not a great state. Gonna go out on a limb here and say Mississippi's not a great state. I have two of my least favorite states, Mississippi and Pennsylvania.
Meg was born in Pennsylvania.
I know, and I'm sorry for Meg. I hate that for her.
Most famous residents of residents of Pennsylvania, Meg and Joe Biden. That's about it. Pretty sure just the two of them.
I hate it for them. I sure do.
But she moved around a lot. She has no memory of ever having lived there. She was just born there.
It's good.
And then pretty much promptly moved to Atlanta.
I like Atlanta.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Atlanta,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Jacob really wants us all to move
okay.
there.
I don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to either. I love Jacob, and I want to live by Jacob again.
Yeah.
But I don't want to move to Atlanta.
Yeah.
The traffic alone drives me crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to deal with that every day.
Because Atlanta traffic is worse than DC traffic. In DC traffic, I took a lot of sanity damage.
I can't imagine you in DC traffic. Oh, man. I've seen you drive like in Nashville, and that seemed to be stressing you out.
I don't like it. I do not like it. So like going through DC, like I quit. I was the lead line chef at a country club in Bethesda, Maryland, and I would commute from Alexandria, Virginia. So it was like a 45-minute commute through. The only way you could get there is directly through the middle of Washington, D.C., and it was a fucking nightmare. I lasted 3 weeks. I'm like, can't do this drive anymore. Won't do this drive anymore. I'm done.
So what was so bad about it?
I mean, the job sucked anyway, but like, it was just, I mean, that was the job where like I had more balls than another coworker who had the same education, same skill level, everything as me.
Down at the ball factory.
Whenever the executive chef, like, I don't think you have enough experience. I want to start you at this level. He said, okay. Whenever I went and applied and had an interview, he's like, I don't think you have enough experience. I want to start you at this level. I said, no. I want the job I applied for.
Yeah.
So I either get the job I want and applied for because I know I can do it, or I'm not going to have a job at all. And he was like, that's what I was looking for. You're the lead line chef. And
Man,
the other kid...
Kitchens sound awful.
It is.
They're
Awful. They're awful.
Like every story you've ever told, it's just been like, oh, so more mind games.
Like 100%. 100%. So that other kid was super pissed. And like
I get him. I can understand him like resenting that.
Yeah. And the kitchen was a mess. It was scattered across 3 floors that you had to take an elevator between.
The kitchen was 3 floors?
So like everything was stored on 3 different floors.
So did they keep all the hot things on the bottom so that you didn't like spill it down grates?
Bottom was dry storage.
Okay.
Middle was bulk freezer, and the top was like short-term freezer stuff we'd use like immediately. So it was always like gathering your prep from the bottom to dividing into what you need for the week and putting it into the top freezer and stuff like that.
The restaurant was on the top?
Yep.
Okay. So that all makes sense. Okay.
But it was just it was just so time consuming because you forget one thing.
Yeah.
And especially like if you're in the middle of service or something like that, and you got to go to the elevator, you go to different floors, put stuff together. It was a nightmare. So when I would gather up all my prep and everything that I had to do, he would take stuff and hide it from me. And so like it took me way longer to do anything that it needed to do. And
what was that going to solve for him?
I guess it just made him feel better.
But I mean, like, if you get fired or something, like...
He wasn't getting a promotion.
Right. So, like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
No, he was an asshole. I ended up, like, hating the job anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it was a country club that was 3 stories. That sounds awful already.
I only kept the job as long as I did because...
You're a quarter Cherokee.
Because the chef that I worked with in Louisville that I have a ton of respect for, and I still keep in contact with him, and I think he's fantastic. And if I willingly went back to work at a restaurant, it would be to work for him. He's the only person that I'd be like, yes, I would love to work for you again. And like he wanted to come and golf there. I worked there for as long as I did to give him the opportunity to use my influence to come and do a round of golf. But it ended up like I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't last that long. So I was like, sorry, chef, can't do it.
Yeah.
This is awful. So
And he was cool with it, I'm sure.
yeah. He
Based on your glowing.
He sort of understood. I was like, hey man, you had 3 weeks. Sorry. But yeah, it was awful.
So what was so bad about the driving?
Oh.
Like, was it just fast paced, or was it just traffic, or what?
It's a whole hurry up and wait situation.
Yeah. And
the roads made very little sense. Shit would shut down and be rerouted constantly.
Yeah.
So in DC, like certain roads are only accessible at certain times. So if I was a little late, I had to take an entirely different way home than if I got out a little bit early. So I never knew, or accidents happen all the time because it's fucked up bumper to bumper and like different roads and switching and actually going through the thick of like Georgetown and trying to find the right bridge. And I had to go through 5 or 6 roundabouts to get home. It was fucking terrible.
How long would it take you to get to work?
45 minutes during the day. Usually wasn't that bad because it was like an off hour. But at night it took me closer to an hour and a half.
To get home or?
To get home.
Okay.
And after like working 8, 10, 12 hours, then an hour and a half home to sleep, get up, and do it all over again. Yeah. It's just like it was too much. I could not stand it.
I don't blame you. That sounds awful. I'm pretty cool with my 8-minute commute to work right now.
I'm pretty cool with my commute of walking from the annex to the house.
Yeah. So. You're a damn cuckoo slinger.
You want to take some calls?
Yeah, I would like to take some calls. Have we mentioned this is an all-call show?
I think so. Yeah, we did at the beginning.
Okay, good.
Because we talked about we might run out. We could.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I got so involved in the conversation we were having. I forgot. All right, here is our first call. This is from 270. This is a local. It looks like it might be Taryn because I see a Google Translate say Houston, Texas.
Hello, motherfucking TADPOG. This is Taryn, and I am sitting in the ridiculousness that is Houston, Texas traffic.
Houston.
As I do every day. I have come to find out that Texas people are dick-faced asshole drivers, and they are terrible humans. So that's what I feel about.
All right. Well, Taryn
That's how I feel about.
Taryn got hit, apparently.
Hey, you listen to our show more, Taryn. That's got to be good. Ian would love that. Ian looks forward to long, horrible commutes. They can listen to TADPOG.
Speaking of Ian, I got a call here. Next call looks like it is from Ian. Let's see if he made it back from Murray, Kentucky in the future. Because, right.
We didn't record it in the order that we're publishing.
Yeah, we got some time travel going on. It's fine. It all makes sense on Wednesday.
Hi. Oh,
Hey.
fucking Tadpog. Sorry, I forgot. It's Ian. Wizened Sage Ian again for the 3rd time today. Starting to feel kind of out of me. Anyway.
I was about to say that.
I'm still in the car on a different trip. This time on my way home. My last call was about board games, thinking I was being so profound and asking a question that you haven't possibly addressed in any episode. And then I listened to episode 241, which is the Get to Know You with Ramon, and you talked about board games for like 15 minutes. So, my bad for being behind on episodes. I'm just going to stop calling until I have everything covered.
He doesn't know about the All Board Games episode.
And I know you've probably already commented on that. You probably already said something like, well, we've talked about this in the past, so...
We did a whole episode on it.
Ian and his fucking call, and you should pay more attention. That's pretty much what I feel like you did. So anyway...
No, it was all lovingly.
Sorry for being redundant, and I still love you, and I hope you still like me. And I will talk to you guys soon.
Did Ian just do the equivalent of writing us a letter? Do you like me? Circle yes or no.
You know what? We did do a board game episode, but here's what's fucked up about these 3 calls that we've received from Ian. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think the first call didn't actually get played on the air because we played it during Artie Lightfoot, right?
Oh, and it had to get
We cut out calls because the audio was messed up. The calls that we thought were piping through were not. So, okay, first call just gone. Second call that Ian made is on Wednesday's episode in the future. So now Ian's like, now we've set Ian up to be a crazy person. Because he's like, all right, this is the third time I've called you. Just nothing beforehand.
Okay, so now we've made Wizen's Sage, his Sage art is chronomancy. So can you just go back and forth in time at his leisure?
Here's what's really bad. I don't know which calls we played on Artie Lightfoot. We played like 3 or 4 calls, right?
We did.
I do not know which ones those were. And they've already been unchecked off of Google Voice. So we've got like 4 calls that are just kind of gone.
So we apologize, callers.
Very sorry. Very sorry. If you called and we did not play your call, it wasn't because we didn't think it was good enough or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you want to call us back, if you feel like you're one of those people who got disappeared.
One of Adam's calls was on
I know one of them was Adam.
I want to say one was Cody.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then I know for sure one of them was Ian. So if you guys want to call back, you can. Sorry,
if you can remember what you called about and then didn't hear your call and want to recall what it was once you recall it, go for it.
Let's recreate it. You can do that. You can call us at 270-883-2555. I feel like
if
maybe
Back to the Future makes sense, this will make sense. It's fine.
Back to the Future is easy.
Butterfly effect, it's fine.
Have you seen Primer?
My dog? My dog from middle school and high school?
Not your dead dog.
Elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, actually. No, I have not seen Primer since Dad had her put down.
Not your lich dog. The time travel movie. That is one that if you want to be confused watching a time travel movie, that movie was written to be confusing. It was written to be like, this is why time travel could never fucking be a thing. Because it's like, you can't even understand this goddamn movie, can you? Nope. All right. No time travel.
This is like Proust. You'll pretend you understand it, and people think you're smart for pretending.
All right. Here we go. Here is another call. This is from 319.
Hey guys, Kyle from Iowa here. Hey, just calling in, weighing in. You guys talked briefly about the fact that, you talked about Fallout 4 for 2 episodes, whether there'd be room for more.
3 episodes.
And I'd just like to weigh in and say I really dug the 2 episodes with Fallout 4. I am not playing the game. I've never played a Fallout game. I played Skyrim, so I get the gist of it. But no, I really enjoyed it, hearing your guys' stories and stuff. And I think that the part I'm most interested in, or the fact that I like the most, is that it's a more recent, relevant game that came out now. And I would totally dig if you guys continue to do newer games. Now, granted, you might want us to contribute a little more Patreon because, gaming's not cheap. So I get that. But I think it'd be a worthy cause, and especially if you guys did it on console. I'm a console gamer, but then I'd even be more about that. But really enjoyed it. I'm all about you guys doing more stuff that's coming out new and that people are playing right now. As that's kind of the culture a lot of us live in with, everyone plays the most recent thing, and that's what people are playing on multi.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. That was my bad. Here, let me try to get back to where we were.
A lot of us live in with, everyone plays the most recent thing, and that's what people are playing on multiplayer a lot of the time. So keep it up. Really enjoyed the episodes, and if there's like 4 or 5 or 10 more Fallout episodes, I'm listening. So keep it up, guys. Later.
You just made Tyler really happy, I think.
I could easily do that many Fallout episodes.
I couldn't. I don't think I could do that.
I'm nearly done. I'm nearly done with
it. Yeah, you kind of dodged that question a little earlier when we were talking about physics. And I was like, did you go back to Fallout and finish it?
I went back. Let's see. I've finished every side quest in the game, including the side quest that you get from your companions. And not all of your companions
Wow.
give you quests, only a few. But I maxed out my relationship with them to get their quests and do all that. So I've done every single side quest, and I went and discovered every single location. I got every single bobblehead.
Nice.
I'm not going to try and get every single magazine. That's too much. I've found, I think there are 140, and I have found 85. Let's see. I'm doing the main storyline quests. I am avoiding picking an affiliation. So far, I am a triple agent. Like I'm pursuing all the quests from all the factions,
Yeah.
and absolutely stabbing each faction in the back. So until I am forced to make a no going back decision,
Yeah.
I am doing every single faction because I want to get all 50 achievements. I want to
Yeah.
platinum this game.
Yeah. Yeah. Fallout 4, I'll probably get back to eventually.
We want to do at least one more
Yeah,
episode.
we
We want to
need-
do a final thoughts.
We need a
episode.
final thoughts where I'm probably going to be quiet. And Tyler and whatever guests on the show will talk about Fallout 4.
If you went straight up main storyline, you'd be finished in 1 or 2 days, I bet.
Here's what's sad about it. I really don't have any desire to go back to the game.
Oh, really?
I don't. I took that break, and in that break, just kind of enjoyed doing other things.
Yeah.
If I get to like a slow point, I think it's a great game. I do. And I think that shows in the episodes that we recorded, but I don't know. I don't have that desire to go back. And I honestly think that the older I get, and it's not like a hard cap or anything, but I've got like 30 hours in Fallout 4. I feel like that's enough. I feel like that's enough time.
Ramon was talking to us today. He was the same way. He put in about that same amount of time, and then he just was, that was fun. Okay.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, but I reached a certain point where it was exactly that. It was just kind of like, okay, cool. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I don't have that. I don't have the love for it that you do, where I feel compelled to do all of the things. It's really weird because I do for a little, like I do have the compulsion to, I got to get all the pencils in this building, and I got to like get all the coffee cups and all that. I think what happens is I do that for a few hours in a day, and I completely strip 4 buildings, and I get to the point where it's like, man, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to strip buildings anymore. But there's no way that I can play this game and not do that because it's there for me to do. So I don't know. It gets in my head. It's one of those things where it's like, oh shit, I've ruined this game for me. I can't play it now because I can't take all of the items in the world and turn them into scrap.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've talked to me, Tyler, before about doing newer games. Like this was a while ago. I think this was like
that's
over a year
part of the
ago.
purpose of Other Shit Monday.
Yeah.
So we can do anything, because sometimes doing a list is hard. So we get to play the games we want to play and talk about them on Other Shit Monday. So we will do Fallout 4 I think it's the most up-to-date modern thing we've done.
Oh yeah.
But like we've done, plenty of indie games and stuff like that are relatively current. Usually no more than anywhere from like 6 months to a year old have been, a lot of games that we've done.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not opposed to it. You bring up a great point, and my whole thing is the only current console that I own is a Wii U.
Mm-hmm. That's about to be not current.
Yeah, that's about to be not a thing.
Yeah.
So, some extra Patreon money would be great, but I don't know if it's going to be
Had to be enough Patreon money that this is full time.
right. Yeah, exactly. And then not only
Then I'd be fine to start. If this is all we did, then start a modern game.
oh god, yeah.
podcast. Great.
And I would totally be down for that. When you and I talked about it earlier, my whole thing was an issue of money to buy the games in the system, and the other issue is time, because like modern games take a long time. For me, they take a long time.
We
for me
learned
to,
that the N64 games
Yeah.
were just like taking that step up was.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal. It's brutal to do that, to play the game enough to feel like I can talk about it while trying to be a decent father and trying to hold down a full-time job. That's tough. So I am totally down to do it. I would love to talk about modern games, but if we do that, if that becomes like a regular thing, TADPOG's got to be. I mean, it's got to be a full-time thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I can't. I don't have the time.
I mean, we'll sprinkle. I mean, retro games are just like Super Nintendo games. Just fit perfectly into our schedule. That's that's our wheelhouse. That's where we're comfortable. That's where we grew up. Plus, those games are a lot easier to do. They're shorter. We know how to play everything that's been put on the Super Nintendo.
And we can be goofy with them. And I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Like for a modern game, I kind of feel like we would have to take a more serious approach. I mean, not an entirely serious approach, but at least enough where it's like, oh, well, this is current and people still actually care about these games.
Because like the Besties was a modern podcast.
Yeah, the Besties. I loved that podcast.
And they had to go to once a month in order to play the games.
Yeah, and they're video game journalists on top of that. So it's like, I mean, that's kind of, video games is definitely their thing. That they're making money talking about video games, and they need more time.
Yeah, and they get the games for free from Polygon.
Yeah. And early, that's the other thing I worry about, is if we started talking about modern games, we're going to be so far behind the people who actually get the game before it's released for review purposes. We're not going to, I mean, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get review copies of a game. I don't know what credentials we need for that.
Is there a certification? Like, can I do like my CPR? Do I go game reviewer, game historian?
Okay, so I give you $17, and then you just give me games.
Is that how it works?
Games piece?
That's games piece. That's you're thinking GameFly, and no. You give me $20, and I give you games you wanted a year ago.
Right, at a very very slow pace.
But so I'm all for doing modern games. We will do modern games, but just think of them as
special.
Yeah, because they'll be like, we might do up like once a month, once every 2 months, because we'll have to play this modern game in, basically on the back burner in our personal gaming time, and then fit in like the 2 other games we do during the week.
And that's also tough.
So we'll get there. It takes us longer to play the modern game.
It's also tough because I feel like modern games that we do those games have to be ones that we are both into. Because modern games take a long time to play now.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, there are times where you're playing a modern game and I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't seem like my thing. Fallout 4 was kind of perfect because it was a game that we were both very interested in playing.
And a lot of our guest hosts were into playing it. And it perfectly worked out.
And we wanted to play it immediately. Neither of us wanted to be patient gamers on that one and wait until it hit a sale or anything like that.
I buy 1 or 2 max AAA games on release.
It is rare. It's I think more, well, I don't know, probably about the same.
Because Fallout 4 before that was BioShock Infinite.
See, I got BioShock Infinite on sale, but it wasn't too far after initial release.
Yeah, like a month after I'd played it, you got it. So I
think my last 2 have been Fallout 4 and Deadpool. I did buy Deadpool on. Oh, and Smash Brothers 3DS. I also got that on release.
Okay. I got Smash Brothers Wii U on release.
Nintendo games I don't really count because
their value doesn't go down.
Yeah, their value pretty much
may as well buy them on release because they're in a year or 2. They're not going to be cheaper. They might be more expensive. Pikmin 3, I got that on release.
Yeah.
And that game is a lot more expensive now. A lot more expensive.
Will you ever sell it?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Mario Maker. I got that one on release too.
Okay, yeah, I hardly even think about it. I got that on release and still haven't played it. So.
Yeah. I think you would enjoy it. I think you would enjoy Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I think Josh of Uniracers fame would really enjoy Mario Maker too.
I got Persona Q on release date just because I was still riding that Persona high from getting 4, immediately buying. As soon as I finished 4, I bought 3 on the PSN store, rolled through 3, and then 2 months later, Q came out, bought that on release day.
Metal Gear Solid 5, you got on release date, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, now that I've pissed everybody off who's listening, thank you for calling. That was a good question.
Yeah.
And I love it when we get a question where it's like, yeah, we've talked about this, and someone's interested in it. So I feel like we're justified talking about it on the show.
So, yeah, if Patreon gets to the point where it's a full-time job, absolutely. Modern games, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. All right, here is a call from 757.
What's up, Tadpog? Adam.
Adam.
I cruising around. It's Monday morning at 9:40. I'm heading into work. Like I said, I've got about the same drive Dave does to his job, so I'm real slow on the TADPOG lately. But I'm just now finishing up Ian's episode, and I still have a raging hard on for his Civil War reading of
Yes.
John Shelley's
Yes.
letter. That was awesome. That
Yeah.
was so good. And finishing that up, and just wanted to call with some thoughts on previous episodes that you mentioned. You guys are talking on the Halloween episode about laziest costumes and things that were just John Arbuckle, as we would call it, I guess. There was one year as a middle schooler that I dressed up as a Charlotte Hornets basketball player. And the way I did that was I had a pair of teal sweatpants and a teal Charlotte Hornets sweatshirt. I don't know why I had the matching combo. I guess my mom stopped at Roses and it was cheap, and that's why I didn't have any friends. But I was wearing that, and I grabbed a basketball
Nice.
and I went door to door. And being a white kid who was probably 4'10" until his sophomore year of high school, I was real small. So anytime I went to the door, people were like, "What are you?" And I'm like, "I'm a basketball player." People would just laugh. It's kind of hurtful. It's always a good podcast, by the way, when something is Back to the Future 2 or anything 2, because you can always guarantee Dave to say
Electric
Boogaloo. So I appreciate that. And somewhere in one of those episodes you mentioned, what's your favorite Looney Tunes game? There's a Looney Tunes game on the Super Nintendo called Looney Tunes B-Ball. It's my favorite. It's
Oh, boy.
not great, but it's not bad. It's a basketball game with Looney Tunes characters. So you guys should check it out. I also own a throw pillow at my house that has a picture of Bugs Bunny and Tasmanian Devil on it, dressed up as the lead singers and dancers of Crisscross. It's pretty amazing. So if you guys ever decide you need that, Indiana,
I've seen that. I've seen that.
And you can have it. So, love you guys. Thank you for doing what you do. Looking forward to hearing more. And tell Ian that the guy that gave him the thumbs up for parallel parking is, he's the hobo. He's the hobo. And as he was giving the thumbs up, he said, "Tropical Capricorn."
That hobo. Thanks, Adam.
What are you supposed to be? I'm one of the Monstars from NBA Jam before they absorbed the power of an NBA player.
From Space Jam.
Okay, Space Jam. Thank you.
Which reminds me, I'm glad he mentioned Looney Tunes B-Ball, because Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins I think he sent both of us the Space Jam PlayStation game.
What? Really?
No, he didn't. He sent us like a screenshot of the PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean you got really excited.
I was like,
we got a thing? So he says that clearly we have to do that, which, I mean, I guess.
Because Jacob's wanting us to do Street Hoops, I think, for PS2, but no, Looney Tunes B-Ball. That sounds, Jacob, that's what we're going to do. No, we're not going to do Street Hoops. I want to do a basketball game. I sent you some screenshots, Dave, or videos, because it's fucking ridiculous. It is a Scottie Pippen basketball game for like the 3DO or like Sega CD or something. It was like,
Oh, yeah. I remember this now.
It's like a first-person perspective, one-on-one Scottie Pippen basketball game, and it's like every player was a different CD you put in into the console, and like Scottie Pippen being the final person you challenge, and it's just, oh man, it's ridiculous. Oh man, is it like I have to go full white girl, just like I can't even. So I desperately want to do that game.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm not, man, I can never get excited about a basketball video game. Even as ridiculous as that sounds and looked. I just can't get excited about it. Because I know I just can't, here's the truth. I can't bring the solid basketball goofs. I just can't. I don't have enough of a working knowledge of basketball.
Bill Ambier work. You're good at combat basketball. Maybe that's your forte.
I just can't. I just always feel like I just kind of chill and let the basketball wash over me.
And NBA James.
NBA James.
Megan Kenner are here.
Just saying goodnight. Oh God, I almost killed our child. Sorry, Tadpog.
That's a weird thing to. I mean, you don't know what just happened. It's a weird thing for Meg just to say. Oh, hey, almost killed her child. No, actually, she didn't. She just almost tripped.
Kenna looks nervous.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Sorry to interrupt. We thought we'd be subtler and
Sorry to interrupt with almost death.
impaled our child on freeways. Cool.
But yeah, basketball games like
Oh yeah, basketball.
we need Jacob for basketball games, and I feel
We
like
do.
would be good.
Yeah, I agree. If I got someone that I can just
Wrestling games and basketball games. We need Jacob.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think I do well in a wrestling game. I know we want to. I know we want to do them. I know they've been requested, and I know that we're eventually going to have to.
So I think Sam sent us No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000 for the N64.
I'm just not. I it's going to be bad. I'm going to make enemies on those. I am. I'm going to make enemies on those because I don't know anything about wrestling. I don't know the first thing to even. So everything I say is just going to be completely ignorant. I'm going to be an ignorant ass on all wrestling episodes.
You ignorant basketball ass.
Yeah. I'd also like to say that Google Translate, for some reason, Adam, it knew you were talking about video games. So it, so here's the deal. When you were talking about the Super Nintendo Looney Tunes B-ball game, it translated it. There's a Limit Seams game on the Super Nintendo, Call of Duty 2 and B-ball.
Remember that weird part of Dead Space where you played basketball?
I liked that part.
Yeah.
But yes, I do remember that. Because it is totally weird because it was like, I remember everything's really intense and it's like I kept expecting something to come out crawling out of a grate or something and murder me. And then there's just this basketball court where you played zero gravity basketball.
It's a safe space. You're safe here.
Which was weird because like for a while I kept expecting something to jump out as I was playing basketball. And then I realized, oh, I've been doing this for 2 hours and nothing has jumped out. I'm probably okay.
If only everyone had stayed in the basketball court.
Mutants in space hate basketball.
I was doing really well on getting all the achievements in Dead Space. Then when I hit that, it was like, I know there've got to be a few achievements for this, but nope. Nope.
There are. Now you know why I spent a couple hours there. Because I loved Dead Space. I loved that game.
Yeah,
and,
the first one I did too.
And I think you turned me onto that game. And I really, really enjoyed it. And it's sad that it kind of went a Resident Evil route.
It does what happens to all horror games. They get increasingly actionier.
Yeah. Because the first one's very, very suspenseful and frightening at points for sure.
And it's different in that like you have to sever those limbs and like it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's really good. So Dead Space, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Also, yeah, Adam, if you're offering that pillow up, we'll take it.
Yep. It would look good.
We'll
it would
take
look
it.
good in here.
In middle school, I took home ec and I had to make a pillowcase. And that is a project everyone had to do. We were learning sewing machines and how to operate them. And we each had to make a pillowcase. So we had to pick out our own fabric and bring it in. And I don't know where it is. I hope I can find it. I chose a bright blue Daffy Duck faces fabric. That's all it is. It's just Daffy Duck. It's rows of Daffy Duck just making different faces.
So that's how you make an artifact. You constructed a TADPOG artifact.
That you have to make it in the past. It has to be in the past. You can't make it currently. So yes, that I'll ask my mom if she has that still because she does keep some things that she probably shouldn't. I guess she's like,
It's with I keep my cocaine in it, Dave.
well, it's stuff like that where it's like I get it. Like because I can see myself keeping like maybe some of Henry's things, of course. But like it's weird for me looking at some of the shit that I created and crafted when I was a kid. Where it's like, you still have this macaroni frame that I made? This is awful.
I had for a long time. I kept a few things in it, but I made a very small, like 3-inch deep cabinet, like single door cabinet that I kept in my room for a long time. I made it in shop class in 8th grade. But yeah,
Where is it?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've thrown it away.
Yeah.
It could be in Mom's attic, but I'm pretty sure it's gone now.
I remember making a Green Day mirror in shop class in middle school. It was, I sandblasted the Green Day logo on a mirror and then made a frame and painted it green.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I wish, now I'm going to sound old, but like, I wish stuff like Shop and Home Ec were still around.
Are they not?
I think now Shop is too much of a liability
Oh, really?
issue. Yeah.
Okay. I get it. I mean, I was scared when I was in shop in middle school.
Yeah.
And it is kind of weird that we were around that equipment when I was in middle school.
Yeah, I'd like, yeah,
Like-
big bladed bandsaws,
Yeah.
like shit like that.
Yeah. Like I could really lose something important.
And like the shop teacher did not give a fuck. He was also the
Yeah.
gym teacher. Like he was just there to sort of act like a creepy pedophile. That was basically what he was getting paid for.
We did not treat our shop teacher well. And that seems like a mistake in hindsight.
I mean, we mostly played shuffleboard. That was the thing in shop class that we got to do. We do a project, do it really quickly to get it done, and then we just played shuffleboard.
I remember that our shop teacher kind of also, I'm not saying that yours did not give a fuck, but it sounds like maybe they didn't if you were playing
yeah.
shuffleboard.
Jones did not give a fuck.
I remember playing a weird game. I can't even remember if it was a Mac game or a PC game, but I remember playing it in shop class where you were a truck driver and you would have to figure out your route. You'd figure out your own route, and then you'd have to figure out what commodities you're going to transport.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like an incredibly boring game, but hey, it's better than shop class.
Yep. My shop teacher was also the gym teacher who would, all the girls in gym class, he'd make you do like chaturanga runs, which was like
Chaturanga?
chaturanga, something
Tub
like that.
thumpers? What is it?
Chumbawamba runs. You run over or you bend over, heels on the ground, ass in the air, and then you're basically pumping your knees.
Oh, I like that.
So
I do like that.
He would have everyone do those facing a certain direction, and then he would go sit on the opposite side. The thing about those runs is if a girl didn't tuck in their shirt,
Yeah.
the shirt would fall down, and you could see like the under boob of the bra. So like we did depending on the girls in the class, we would do a lot of those, and he would always make sure he sat on the opposite side when we did it.
Was it a whole lot of you, do this run? Everyone else, volleyball.
Oh god, because I mean we did too many warm ups really before we did anything. So
How many years of, did you call it PE
Mm-hmm.
at Marshall County? How many those, like, did you have to do PE every year?
the only one that was mandatory was health PE. The first half of the semester was health class.
Yeah.
Second half was PE.
Okay, same for me.
That was the only mandatory. Then you could take advanced PE, which was just an hour of playing dodgeball and shit like that. And there was advanced PE conditioning, which was the weight room.
Okay.
So I took one semester of advanced PE, and then I was like, oh, I want to get in better shape, and I'm trying to lose weight my senior year. And that's when I took conditioning, and that's when I dropped a ton of weight. And I ended up like rearranging my classes and took that for my full senior year. I absolutely loved advanced PE conditioning. I wish I would have taken it. I think you can't take it until you're a junior, but I wish I would have been taking it. I think Josh took it every semester he could, but it was a great class. Great class.
You guys were a lot more active than I was. I was happy to finish PE and health and then just play Star Wars collectible card game for the rest of my life.
I never understood the kids who would, like, it's voluntary. It's not required after health PE. I mean, to take advanced PE and then willingly fail. Willingly, like, not, I mean, because half of your points were just if you change clothes.
Right, yeah.
And so the kids who would take the class and then just sit in the stands for an hour and just
Like in their like
fail, just in their school, just
right. In their
jeans
yeah.
in their shirt, and then most of the time, strangely enough, it was like more of like the redneck kids who would do this, and they would just take it and then just sit there and talk for an hour, willingly fail.
Was it because it wasn't a real sport because it was inside?
I mean, it's like if you're going like I don't know why take it if you're just gonna take an F. I don't
know.
I don't understand.
I had so much anxiety over PE when I was a freshman because I was so worried that we were going to have to shower because I didn't want to shower.
I never once showered at school. Never.
I'm assuming you didn't have to.
No.
Obviously, if you graduated, you take your clothes off and you get in this water. You do not graduate.
I would just spray myself down with spray deodorant.
Yeah.
And that was sufficient.
I don't sweat much, so that helps. Because there was never a situation after PE where I was like, "Oh man, I am sweaty and stinky." It was always just kind of like, "All right, I smell like I normally do," which is probably not great, but not awful either. So go to class.
Yeah, I mean, usually I think PE was one of my last classes of the day, so it usually worked out. Conditioning was
That
my
is
first
good.
class of the day every time.
Yeah.
Which,
So you definitely got a spray.
yeah, I wouldn't sweat really hard lifting weights. And by the end of my first semester, I was in a lot better shape, and I wasn't I took a shower in the morning before school, and if I would sweat a little bit working out, spray deodorant, I was totally fine. It was nothing was any different. No need to take a shower.
I have to now. It's completely different now. When I do any kind of exercise, I sweat, and it is nasty. It's not good.
Mm-mm.
Not good. It's one of those situations where I could not bike to work. I just couldn't do it because I couldn't sit there in my chair at work for 9 hours with that morning sweat. Just I hate that filmy residue feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're done and it dries and it's just kind of oh, this is probably really good for my skin. Well, that's been Gym Chat.
Yep.
No one expected that, I don't think. Let's see. Here is another call. It looks like this is from Adam again.
What's up, TADPOG? It's Adam. Actually, it's your beloved Adam.
Yeah.
Sorry to call again. I know that this is probably going to show up on your Valentine's Day all-call show.
No.
But I'm driving to work this morning, Tuesday, November 24th, and I started listening to the all-call show with Nicole, where you guys are talking about how her and Josh met. And Nicole, I love you. I think you're great. I love hearing you on the show. But I got to come in and I had to call and say this, even though it's going to be months from now when you hear it. Tyler, I swear to you, at some point, somewhere in the pantheon of TADPOG, you have told a little piece of the story with Josh and Nicole, where you said that she was there to meet another one of your friends and ended up going home with Josh. I remember that. I really remember that. So even though you missed it on your storytelling, you know that to be true in your heart. And I just wanted to come in and let you know, because I knew that. And I always thought it was Brandon, because Brandon's my favorite co-host and probably the least likely I would let my sister date. So that would be my guess.
Accurate.
So,
Yeah.
Love you guys. Again, this call only has to do with 7 minutes of the episode where you guys talked about Nicole eating a sandwich and how her and Josh met. And that's it. So I'll call back in a day or two, probably tomorrow, because I can't get enough. So love you guys. Love you, Nicole. Love you, Josh. Keep it at a 7. No, 6. Never mind. I'm going to have a call.
We love you too, Adam. You're right. I do remember, Tyler, I remember you telling a little bit of that story episodes before you told the full story. And I couldn't remember the details because I've heard the story before. And it's weird because I get a new detail every time I hear it. So I don't mind hearing it again. But yeah, I do remember you mentioning it in the past.
Yeah. But yeah, was not Brandon. He has been a guest host on the show before, but not Brandon.
Right. Also, why wouldn't you let your sister date Brandon? Come on. Come on.
We haven't even talked about how massive his dick is.
I'm pretty sure we have.
Yeah.
Is that part of it? Do you not want your sister to be adequately pleasured? Doesn't she deserve it?
Everybody loves to feel full, Adam.
Well, there's the one where we lose Adam. Thanks for hanging with us for so long, buddy. We appreciated the support while we had it.
Oh, man.
All right. Here we go. Here is a call from 810.
Motherfucking TADPOG, : This guy here, better known as Doug from Better Made fame.
What up, Doug?
I'm listening to your, I think, 4th Fallout episode, and I can answer the lawyer question you had on your side quest. When I was first playing with a man, I was looking right when he goes to answer the door, and there's something you can click on. It says, law degree, and you look at it, and he says, I'm so proud of her. So I think when it comes to having a female character, they're automatically a lawyer. Anyway, love the show. Keep up what you're doing. And on your next Fallout episode, don't spoil anything. I play slow as shit. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling, Doug. Don't worry about more Fallout spoilers, but I am going to give you every Star Wars spoiler right now. No, just kidding.
I think our next, if we do Fallout Final Thoughts, that will be a spoilerific show.
Okay, so I do need to finish it.
I think before we'll have to talk about
it.
like the main quest and everything on like, we'll do one more show. So it may be a very long time from now, but I think it would have to be like spoiler heavy to talk about like, that's our final thoughts, main story.
Do spoilers ruin a game for you, Tyler?
Depends on what it is.
This might have something to do with Fallout and why I kind of got not really back into it. Some things were spoiled for me, and I think that kind of lessened the fun for me a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of, I don't know, on top of everything that I'd mentioned earlier, I think that was just kind of like, okay, well. So I have to play for hours to get to the part where I already know what happens. So I don't know. It's a little less enticing to play. All right. So Chandra also, I think she said that it's a lawyer no matter what. I think your spouse is a lawyer no matter what. And I can't remember exactly what we said on the show where we were talking about it. I think we were questioning whether it changed based on gender. All right, here's another call. This is from 763.
Fucking TADPOG. Fishless J Connor. You know what? Fuck it. I'm done with this Fishless J route.
What?
This is Henry.
What?
16 years in the future,
What?
Henry. Dad.
What?
The fuck, man? I found all these episodes on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say I found them. Fucking Kenna found them. She is just fucking mortified. She hasn't talked in like 3 weeks. I mean, like 15 years in the future, you didn't think this shit would come back up? What the fuck, man? Those are terrible. It was like, what the fuck? Uncle Tyler, like, dude, you guys have fucked up stories, man. Holy shit, that church basement thing. Oh, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
Henry, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that you, and I'm really sorry for Kenna having to hear the episode where Meg tried to kill her, apparently. Sorry about that.
That's good, Jay. That was real good.
That was good. It's Henry.
That was good, Henry. It was very good.
Give my boy some credit, Tyler. Thanks for calling. Let's see, we got another call here. This is from 503.
What's up, guys? It's Phil.
Phil.
Just got done listening to Bebe's Kids, and I'm very happy to have you guys go back to some shitty games. That was a lot of fun listening to everything that went into this fucking game, which I didn't know existed, and just the fucking premise of it. Coming out with a sketch,
And Phil, that's the last we ever heard of Phil. just at the end is
Phil, come back. Phil, no, don't leave us. Walk away from the light toward our voice, Phil. A month later when you did this.
Here, it looks like he called back. I'm not going to play it, but I am just going to read the Google Translate for everybody. We can figure it out. Okay, now, spirits.com there. But anyway, that's how it starts out.
Okay, that was weird. Got cut off there. But anyway, what I was going to say is that just taking a dead comedian's bit and turning it into a shitty movie, and then turning that shitty movie into an even shittier SNES game is just fucking bonkers to me. It's like taking a Mitch Hedberg sketch or something and turning that into a movie or a game, which
piloting steamboats.
I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but just happy to have you guys kind of going off that Fallout kick and keep doing this again. But hey, I wanted to let you guys know I want to be on more episodes, and I am willing to pay you to do it. And here's what I'm going to do. Every time you put me on an episode, like have me come in, Skype and guest host, I will add 50 cents to my Patreon account. And I will
dangerous game,
double down
Phil.
on that. As soon as I hear this, I'll as good faith, I will put 50 cents on it just from hearing this voicemail on the air. And then every single time you have me on, I put 50 cents. Every single time, another one, 50 cents, 50 cents. So you guys stand to make a lot of money just by having my shitty ass on your show.
We stand to give you a lot of divorce.
So, balls in your court. If you want me on, let's do it. Otherwise, you can just take my $5 that I give you weekly, spend it on Chick-fil-A or whatever else you guys want to do.
I don't need hate chicken, Phil.
Otherwise, keep doing what you're doing. Happy holidays. Peace.
See, now that's how you do it. That's how you get it done. That's how you get it done, Micah. That's how you get it. Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay.
Phil messaged me.
Did you clear this with Maureen? Did you say like,
Right.
I'll give you 50 cents of her money every time you have me on the show?
You know, it's gonna we're gonna have to have him on every episode now.
I
Where
want
it's
to
just like,
get to the point where he is working full time to pay us every cent that he earns.
Yeah.
Reporting on high school and middle school cheerleaders goes to us.
That's not, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm down for that. I love it.
You guys, and Arthur's really hungry. No,
Well, that's a shame, buddy, because I got a lot of Heroes of the Storm skins to buy.
I think I take that. I will. That sounds good to me.
Fuck yeah.
Accepted, Phil. Accepted.
Is that the new bar of entry?
50 cents?
50 cents.
50 cents. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. For people who want to be on.
Yeah. Pay to play, baby.
And we know won't like suck. Yeah, okay. Like I'm not suddenly gonna have like fucking 580 like $10 every time you have me on. $100 every time you have me on.
Yeah, that's a little better. I was okay with 10. I was the guy who's like, sold.
So, okay, I can do with that. Phil, absolutely. I know Phil's quality.
Phil is good. Yeah. He's actually paying us for something that would end up being great for us anyway, I feel like. So, yeah, I'm on board. I wonder, let's brainstorm. Let's think of, I wonder if there's any like Pacific Northwest specific games that we could bring Phil on for.
Well, remember I saw on that one weird website the Twin Peaks game.
Yeah, that looked awful.
Yep.
So Phil,
what are some other Oregon? Where was Alan Wake?
Alan Wake, I think, was up in that area. Yeah, it was definitely Pacific Northwest.
So Alan Wake, to my understanding, Alan Wake 2 is a thing that's going to happen.
Boogaloo. How about Oregon Trail?
Yep. Oregon
and we
Trail.
could talk about Phil's journey to Oregon.
He, speaking of like journalism, what is that game where you play the photographer? Something evil. I can't remember. You play a journalist taking pictures.
Yeah, I don't know.
Beyond Good and Evil
things?
Beyond Good and Evil. So do that to
Angels and Demons.
He and Maureen can come on, and we'll do another episode of Phoenix Wright because she's a lawyer.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're just angling for another Phoenix Wright.
Hopefully,
I get it.
And it's like they're both on, so that's $1.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be nice.
I mean, bring Arthur on. Bring Harold Arthur on. $1.50.
Yes. I love this idea. This is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay. All right. Let me pull out my calculator here real quick.
Okay.
All right. So 52 weeks in a year.
That is correct.
All right. So we do 2 episodes.
All right.
So
we're
that's
at 104
weeks.
Yep.
So if we had Phil on every
episode
for a full year,
what?
52? Yeah. I didn't even need my calculator for that. But yeah, that would be $52 that he would be giving us every month.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. You up for it, Phil?
We might be doing that, Phil. This might be.
Look, we're looking for a way to talk about modern games, and Phil looks like you're our meal ticket.
This might be TADPOG. It's fine.
Oh no, we're not changing the name. I'm surely not changing our art.
Phil is just implied.
He's the silent P. Thanks for calling, Phil.
But he messaged you about this and was still like,
he's serious.
Okay.
He's serious.
All right.
It seems like.
All right.
It's a good challenge.
That is a good challenge.
Well, let's see. We got another call. This is from 410.
Hey, TADPOG, it's Tony.
What's up, Tony?
I was just listening to the Bebe's Kids episode, and I got to the portion where you guys were talking about the game fact, and man, this is kind of tough for me, and I felt like I just needed to get this off my chest, but that really took me back to a dark time in my life. I mean, you guys just don't know what it's like to be a young Christian gentleman like myself. And that was really just a creative outlet for all the rage and frustration that I felt with, skull fuckers and everything. So, I hope you guys don't judge me too harshly, and really appreciate you guys, everything you guys do, and keep up the good work, guys, and I'll be listening.
Christian gentleman has to become somebody's title at some point.
I agree. I agree. Jacob and I talked about the I can't remember his name now, the Game Facts author. Kix, yeah, Kix. Mother approved. Yeah, and it was one of those where it was like, there's a lot to talk about. This is what I discovered when he and I were just chatting about it. There's a lot to talk about, and it's one of those things where it's like, I feel bad like passing judgment on that guy, because it's like, I don't know what his situation.
I don't.
I don't know what his situation was. I don't know how old he was when he wrote it. What he wrote was definitely not great. It was not. I'm not condoning what he wrote, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's different. And we said this on that episode. If he wrote that stuff when he was 11 versus 41 years old, I feel like there's a major difference.
There is, but reading it is like, man, I know this type of guy. I know exactly this type of guy. This is what Reddit talks about, the fedora wearing neckbeard.
Yeah.
Like that is who this guy is.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're curious, I'm sorry, Jacob, if I'm throwing you under the bus. I hope I'm not. You made me feel better. Jacob's like, no, don't feel guilty for passing judgment on this guy, because these things are awful.
Yeah, I mean, some of it was just douchey. Other part of it's like, you're just a jerk.
Bordering on hate. I feel like some of it was bordering on hate.
Yeah. We can't fucking get things published on Urban Dictionary with this fucking guy.
All right. I know you said you needed to be done by now.
We can keep going. It's fine.
All right. Here is another call. This is from 651.
Motherfucking TADPOG. Cody.
What's up, Cody?
Just listened to your Tomb of Horror Part 2 Patreon exclusive episode, and that's really just got me in the D&D mood. I got my Sunday group, trying to get another one going, but I just want to know, what is your favorite D&D character? This can go to anybody who's Tyler, Dave, of course, and then if you have any guests with you, co-host or guest host. What is your favorite D&D character you've ever made, and what edition was it?
Don't open that box, Cody.
Mine.
You got 4 hours.
Second edition, a wizard, an 8th level wizard, and he was just straight nasty. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Cody. I'm glad that you listened to our Patreon bonus episode, which you can get by donating at least $1 at patreon.com/tadpog.
Because, I mean, now that was in the past. I know currently, like, Cody is putting together a game with the super fans, so to say.
Some of the guys from the chat. And that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very awesome.
I love the idea of spreading D&D around because it's brought me a lot of joy.
Yeah, absolutely. And the question he asked, it's like, fuck, man.
That's a whole episode almost.
Easily. And no one's going to give a shit
I know,
unless you're really into D&D.
Here's the thing.
No one gets your character like you do.
Right.
And you can talk about it and enjoy it and relish it, but like it doesn't.
It's personal. It doesn't translate to other people. I feel like
you have to be like I can hear Jacob talk about Rude or James, two of his favorite characters, and I was a part of that game and part of that experience, and I can thoroughly enjoy it and enjoy hearing his emotions going through that.
Yeah.
And people who don't play D&D, I'm sure I sound ridiculous saying these words because
maybe. I don't.
Making
it makes sense to me, but I play.
Because you make a character. It just starts as numbers and letters on a page, and at least the way we play, which we have our goofy moments, but we play semi-serious games, and you get attached. You pump life into this character, and they become like an extension of you with their own thoughts and feelings. And like if you're really into role play, that's like it becomes a thing that's important to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and it's hard to even say that to somebody who like has never played D&D, has never done anything like that, for me to say that and it not sound kind of weird and ridiculous.
I think it can sound kind of weird and ridiculous to people who do play D&D because everyone plays it differently.
Yeah.
Like you said that we usually play it from a more heavy role play side. I mean, we like our stories to make sense, and there is silliness, but a lot of it is usually out of character silliness. Some of it's in character, but I mean, there are groups that definitely memorize stats, and it's a tactical
just there to
game.
Kill shit, and
I'm not saying that's wrong. That's a different way than we play, and to them, even to those players of D&D, I think that what you just said would sound silly. Everyone plays it differently, and that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing that this is a game that anyone can play differently. And I fluctuate, man, because it's like when I was younger, when I was in college, I loved homebrew games. I loved everything about them. They were so cool. They were so much fun. They're still fun, but now to me, there's an allure to published games, officially published games, because it's all of a sudden it's a shared experience. Like I can have a discussion with somebody I don't know, a stranger who plays D&D, and if they've played the same mod or if they've run the same mod, we have common ground and we can discuss things.
What did your players do? What did you guys do different in this situation?
That's really, really cool. It doesn't have that unique experience that you have running or playing a homebrew, but it's kind of one of those things where it's cool to like use as a way to connect with another person.
Yeah, I do think, you're right. It is a different feel
entirely
running a mod than a homebrew, because a homebrew, like at least the way I do it, the more I DM, the more things have changed, because I'm a dramatically different DM now than when I started. Yeah. I'm a very different DM now than I was in 2011 when I got back from like DC. Like every game has taught me something to do a little different and a little bit better. So I feel like I'm different, but I run a much better game than I did back in the day. Some of my issues are still some of my issues. Like I have trouble avoiding. I like seeing everyone happy when they get a magic item and things like that. So I have trouble overpowering characters because I enjoy making people happy when they get a magic item.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me I end up having to make super powered NPCs just to deal with what I've created. But
yeah, you're also, and I think this is because of you enjoying the role playing element of the game so much. Most of the time when we're playing one of your games, we don't fight very many monsters.
You don't.
We fight a lot of NPC villains. with character classes, which is cool. I mean, you don't see that in a lot of mods. Usually there's like one or two of them, and those are quote unquote bosses. Like those are tough battles.
Because I have 4-inch 3-ring binders full of NPCs that I've made. That's usually how you can tell. Mostly now, I used to make character sheets for everybody, but now, like Blake has said, like Blake will be like, "Oh fuck," when he sees me pull out a character sheet, because that means like I made somebody legit. I didn't just write down numbers on scratch paper and we're rolling with it. Like when I pull out a character sheet and I make an NPC on a character sheet, then they're a big deal, and that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
I don't do that as much as I did, but I still have I have binders upon binders full of
Women
that I show to other men. That's good. That's a good Romney deep.
Yeah, that's topical, right, guys? I haven't had cable or TV in a while.
of just like they're all in this my cabinet over there of NPCs that I've created over the years. But to answer your question as briefly as possible, Cody,
which is already not brief based on our discussion we just had.
We're talking about characters, just talking about other shit in D&D. I'm typically torn between two characters that I love the most. I'm enjoying very much the character I'm playing right now in Ramon's game, Shine Summer Blossom. But Summer Blossoms are a whole different thing. That she is a lineage character. She is the child of Jacob and Leva's characters.
Yeah, two of your players.
Yeah. So and I have used people from that family as NPCs and other PCs in all of my games. We have a few royal families in our circle of gamers that somebody might play a character from. But the two characters are one in Ramon's second game when he started out in the Cauldron mod. Was my character Evangelista Rokiri Xylosient, who, that's a ridiculous ass name. That girl that I hooked up with in Virginia that I flew over there for.
Yeah.
I remember she kept talking about this guy, the most popular guy in her school.
Oh my God. Are you telling me an origin story?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was like, what's this guy's name? I'll say his full name, but his last name was Evangelista. And I was like, that's okay. That's a different last name. And I liked it. So when I got back and had to make a character, Evangelista. Okay. So the most popular girl and that girl I hooked up with in our high school in 2002, that is where I got the name inspiration from one of my favorite characters.
Interesting.
And he started out as an elven bard, worshipped Elidamara, and as the campaign went on, he eventually worshipped Colonel Rethian. The party needed a healer, so he prayed to be basically reborn. I made him my favorite soul, which is a spontaneous caster of healing magic. That was his role, and it was me playing I was trying to play the most good, pure-hearted character I could possibly play. So he was a healer, a diplomat, a pacifist, but passionate in all those regards and taking care of his friends. So he is one of my favorite characters, period. And the other is a character in your game, Dave, which is my gnome, rogue, wizard, arcane trickster, Pudge Higginbottom. Also another became sort of a royal family of sorts in D&D in our group. But he's very different than Evangelista in that he was passionate, but Pudge didn't have a problem fucking shit up to get his point across.
I like Pudge.
Still good. Still have a lot of very good memories role-playing, getting into Pudge. And he was more my crafting character and things like that.
I had fun running that with all the Bitopia stuff with Pudge, which is Bitopia, the plane of gnomes, essentially, where gnomes go when they die.
Yeah, I loved
cool.
all of that we get to delve into. So it's always hard for me to choose. Evangelista and Pudge are pretty much always neck and neck for me about who my favorite character I've played has been.
It's a tough question for me because I like a lot of my characters. Pudge
is probably the most powerful PC I've ever played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Pudge was pretty powerful. That group was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But I didn't honestly think it was. I mean, it reached a point. It reached a point where I was like, I can't challenge you
It's
guys
hard
anymore.
to challenge us. Yeah.
And that's honestly where I kind of lost a lot of steam running it.
Yeah.
Because I want to, and I have this problem when I run mods too. Because the way mods are written, it's ratchet. It ratchets up the intensity, but not really in an even fashion. So like there are times where like the PCs are just rolling through, destroying everything, and then they go just like one chapter over, and it's like, oh, everything's challenging now. So I don't know. Challenge is it's really important to me in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm probably more of a crunchy mechanics guy than you.
Mm-hmm.
I like running games that are a little more explorative, and I also really like doing improv games up to the point where it's like, because I didn't finish my game that Pudge was in, and I can never go back to that game because I do not remember half of it, because all of it pretty much was.
I do, Dave. I remember all of it.
All of it was pretty much just made up as I went.
Mm-hmm.
And if
that's what I love about your games.
And I love running it that way. I love running it that way because I feel like, okay, well, this is a game where the players can kind of drive the narrative, and it has to be a special group. It can't. It has to be a special group. It can't be. It can't be a group that wants to be led. It has to be a group that wants to make their own story.
Mm-hmm.
And
that group was definitely it. Like,
yeah,
you did a wonderful job of keeping us on the rails long enough to set up the world and let us basically get into our characters and have them have their own aspirations. And then once that happened, then you just like let go. And then we just, it was you reacting to what we wanted to do.
Yeah. You mentioned that because I tried to run another game back when I moved to Paducah, and I do not think that it went well at all.
I had fun with it.
Yeah.
But it was, I think we didn't know who we were yet.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. It's really interesting to me that you said that, I kept you guys on the rails long enough to kind of get established and then move out. And that was, you mentioned that to me in that last game, that you felt like that would help. And at that point I pretty much just said, I'm done. I mean, it doesn't seem like people are really enjoying it. But I'm not answering the question just because I enjoy talking about fucking D&D so much.
This could easily, we get Ramon and Josh and Jacob and Miller and easily just sit down and we could crank the shit out of this stuff.
It would just be the most unlistenable episode. Like, I'm sure the last whatever fucking 20 minutes or whatever it's been has been like completely unlistenable for some people.
Taryn has glazed over at this point.
But to answer your question, probably my favorite character, I don't know what this says about me, and it's not because of the character himself, but it is an evil character that I played named Rudy the Bonesmith.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler ran a game, and it was an evil game. So we were all playing evil PCs. And I liked Rudy, and Rudy was a really, really nasty guy.
Yeah.
A really bad guy. Like a really, truly evil
He was a dark
guy. But what I liked about him the most is that I was able to learn some things about myself playing Rudy, much like I have when I've played earlier characters that were not truly evil. My first character was lawful evil, but I mean, that was kind of not really a real character. That was kind of just like, I want to play this thing, so here's my character.
I want to play an assassin. Assassin has to be evil, so this guy's evil.
Right.
Yeah.
But Rudy was truly evil, and it was fun to kind of explore that and like go way beyond my comfort zone for a lot of things. Because I mean, like, he did some things that I was not comfortable with.
After the session, I know what you're talking about. After the session was over, you felt bad.
Oh yeah, I felt bad, and it's like I used to commute for that game because you would run it 45 minutes away from where I lived, so I would have this 45-minute drive back home, just kind of like thinking about everything that had happened. Rudy is one of my favorite characters because I felt like that is the character I was able to really stretch. And that was the first character ever that I've had an extreme religious bend to. And I feel like he opened the door for me to be more comfortable playing characters who are religious.
You were severely anti-cleric until you played Rudy.
Because I wasn't really on board with the whole religion thing in D&D. And I don't know why. I mean, it's not like an issue with me. It's not like, oh, well, you can't worship these imaginary gods in this game because it goes against God. It wasn't anything like that. It just wasn't something that I was interested in. And then through this character, this dark, evil character, I learned that there's some really cool flavor that you can pull from how he worships a god. Because it's like he was a cleric of Vecna, and like him getting into the religion, and like Vecna's all about secrets and like the whole like rituals, Tyler, that you came up with like writing down secrets of people and then offering them to Vecna by burning them in temple and stuff like that. I mean, it was really, really cool, and it felt like it brought so much. It brought another dimension to that character, and I think that was really cool. Also, another character of mine.
While you're saying this, like the thing about evil characters are typically really hard to deal with because when people want to play an evil character, they just fuck shit up. They'll just murder and stab and stuff with no logic or rhyme or reason.
Sure.
Because I feel like, in the real world, like very few evil people view themselves as evil.
Right.
And the majority of people trying to play an evil character in D&D like view themselves like I'm the villain and I'm going to not value life or people. I'm going to be underhanded and not talk to people. And like it's just they play it in a way that's just like
it's tropey.
Why people don't do it. That's the thing. But like the way I ran that game was very mafia style, and everyone had friends and you had to work together. So Rudy was evil, but Rudy had depth, and I very rarely see evil characters with depth. Like the characters in that game, your character and Josh's character Sid and Jacob's character James Castle in my first games were three rare evil characters with depth that were acceptable as PCs and added something.
Well, a true and this is gonna sound like I'm bragging, but it's really just, it's not really bragging. It's just, it makes me proud of myself. Because you like to bring in other characters from games as NPCs, and I know that you've brought Rudy into a game of that I was playing in, and I remember feeling a weird mix of terror and pride when it was like, oh shit, Rudy is mentioned. Like Rudy exists outside of the game that he was invented in, and that made me fucking terrified.
But yeah, you knew what he was capable of, now he is. I don't know how many DMs do this, but I have a book that no one has seen but me that I keep here that is my D&D universe set up with its hierarchy of everything, how all of my games interact, what worlds overlap with each other, what characters can exist in multiple worlds, and how they're different in each world, and how characters in certain ones of the games now exist in a higher thing or in all games. So Rudy's one of those characters that, because of the way that game ended, he sort of transcended and is now a plausible threat in all games because he has a purpose in the scheme of everything that my games play to.
I think that's really cool, and I like that, and I feel like it's almost a reward for people, your regular players, to see that kind of stuff. It's neat, and it's cheating, but I want to mention a few other characters. Glim, who was my own Wizard McNasty. Cody had mentioned.
You're very, very good at playing wizards.
It depends. It depends on the DM. Honestly,
How
it's like,
flexible they're going to let you be.
Yeah, I mean, because I played a wizard most recently at Dragon Con as part of the Adventure League games, and it was fun. But it wasn't as fun as I've had with a DM who allows creative use of spells. And I think
that bugs the shit out of me that you got treated like that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of things where it's like, I don't like it when someone comes up with a creative workaround for a problem in a game that's going to circumvent a lot of the adventure. I get that a DM has to kind of like make sure that it's fun for everybody. And so I didn't like make a big deal out of it when things would happen at Dragon Con, because it's like, yeah, okay, I feel like this thing is legal. The spell that I cast is legal, and I feel like it's a creative workaround. But I realize that if the DM said, oh yeah, that's a good idea, that happens, well, now 1 hour of the adventure is essentially completed. And that's not fun for everybody who's there. But you are wonderful about that kind of stuff, because you're very flexible with creative ideas with spells.
I want to reward people that think outside the box and take spells that aren't like, because there are a handful of spells that are just the superpowered spells everybody uses. And you'll see multiple times across multiple spellcasters, and it just gets boring.
Yeah.
So to see spells that like, they're there and no one pays attention to them, but can be very useful if you just use them correctly or find a way to
specific
make them
uses of them. Yeah, that kind of thing.
And spell combinations. You were very good at coming up with spell combinations as Glim that would have like amazing effects.
And that was some of the most fun that I've had. I don't think that Glim was like a particularly deep character.
Well, it was your first like character in like the circle of games that we started then.
Yeah. But I had fun playing him, and it was cool that it was just what I was able to do with him. And then Finnegan, of course, was Tiefling Dervish, who he does not work by himself. I do not think that Finnegan works by himself, so he's not my favorite character. But next to Jacob's character, Clive, aka Chives, those two together, I feel like we're just a chaotic shitstorm that was just like they were a 2-man clique that didn't give a shit about anyone else but themselves and each other.
Josh's character could come in like sometimes if he was useful, but like. Yeah, it was.
Jacob, if you're listening to this, you know we were awful. You know we were awful. I'm not saying it wasn't worth it. It fucking was worth it, but we were awful.
Because, like, the way you guys were, and then I look across the table at Ramona and JD, who are not having fun anymore.
Yeah. I do think at some point we did refer to the game as the Clive Finnegan show.
Yeah. It's like, guys, remember Jacob, like Tyrone, I don't want to ruin and fuck up your game, but I want to ruin and fuck up your game.
Well, it was fun for me.
I mean, yeah, you were chaotic within the scope of the game. Like, Clive was chaotic outside of the scope of the game. But it all worked out. Now that campaign has become a long running series of campaigns for me. So
yeah,
we should probably do something else now.
So that was a long.
Look
long
what you did.
D&D.
Everybody who's mad about that, please refer all complaints to Cody.
Yeah, here's his personal phone number that I'm going to pull off of Google voicemail. Are we good? I mean, you want another one? Or?
I'm fine to.
I told Nikki I'd be home about 35 minutes ago.
Okay, if you need to go, we can stop.
Are we okay on time, or you want to take one more?
I'm fine. Yeah,
Do a D&D palate cleanser.
If this might be our last all calls for the episode, I'm fine to make it a really long one and try to get through several calls.
Okay, I think I'm good for one more. This is a call from 413. Google Translate says, "Rockin' Ted, what's up, dude?"
Rockin' TADPOG. What's up, dudes? It's Sean here over in Massachusetts. I'm just fucking wondering if you guys are still offering some Mondo for reviews. Like, I'll still leave one, but, like, I kind of really want a Mondo. So, can we, like, make that happen, or did they, like, drop your sponsorship, or what's up? All right, later.
Thanks, Sean. Have we heard from Sean before?
No, I don't think so.
First time caller?
Does that sound familiar? I think I know who it is. I believe he's a Patreon donor. If it's the same Sean I'm thinking it is.
Well, if he's a Patreon donor, then yeah. I mean, he definitely gets Mondo.
Yeah.
Every Patreon donor should have received a Mondo in the mail. Sean,
I mean,
did
for
you
the
not
most part, we drop Mondo for being gross.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want your pool water sponsorship, Mondo. Thank you.
Can you imagine if chlorine was like a little sweet? Yeah, we can too. We're Mondo.
Is this poison? Yes, it is. I want to play this as well because this was a callback from 413 the same day. So I want to see what happened.
Okay.
Maybe he got the Mondo in the mail.
TADPOG dudes, it's Sean again. I completely just forgot. Like, Mondo's had squeezer snacks, right?
What?
So, maybe you don't know that. You guys are old. But, as old-ass men, I guess I can't say that. I'm not old myself. But as old-ass men, do you guys eat fruit snacks? And if you do, what do you eat? Besides, like, the gross shit that's sent into you guys. Yeah. All right. Peace.
I mean, Swedish Fish is essentially fruit snacks.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a big fruit snack eater.
Mm-hmm.
Like that used to be my jam. I come home from school, first grade, mom would give me a pack of fruit snacks. Usually it was like Shark Bites or something like that.
Mhm.
I'd sit down, rip that fucker open, watch some Scooby Doo, and it was on. Draw some naked pictures, really confuse people, make my loved ones worried about me, and then I go to sleep.
Fold them up, put them in the Sega Game Gear case. It's all good.
I don't really eat them currently.
I used to eat a lot of Gushers back in the day. I loved Gushers.
I used to eat Gushers. I wouldn't say I loved them.
But like really, like now, if I want something sweet, it needs to be chocolate, or I don't care. Like I don't. I think I've mentioned it before. I don't crave sugary sweets. I don't crave Starburst. I don't crave Suckers or anything like that. Like if I want something sweet, I'm getting something with chocolate in it, and that's it. So
that makes sense. You're maturing. Chocolate does what Gushers doesn't.
Like I can do like a donut might basically scratch that same itch, but like just like a sugary candy, like no. I don't do it anymore.
I do like sugary candy. This is fucked up. I don't count fruit snacks as sugary candy. I should.
I mean, they're fruit. It's in the
You're
name.
right, I know. They're fruit. They're snacks. This candy's not anywhere in those.
And it's not like I'm feel like no for my own health I don't do that. No, I genuinely just don't crave it anymore.
Yeah, Nikki's the same way. She doesn't really like that kind of. She prefers chocolate. Like she doesn't really, or like just baked stuff. While I am different. I will straight up Swedish Fish. Yeah, if I get a hold of like some fucking Shark Bites now, it's on. It's just I don't do the grocery shopping, so I don't buy fruit snacks. And it's not like one of those things where I'm like at the gas station, I wander in. It's like usually they don't have fruit snacks there. It's gummy bears. Gummy bears my go-to. Sour Patch Kids, Swedish Fish.
I ate all the gummy bears that Micah brought in.
Yeah.
But generally, like I've never been a big fan of gummy bears, ever.
The Harborough ones are really good.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you for eating those. There are some really bad gummy bears out there. Something, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before, something that I've recently really gotten into, and this is because of Henry, is that animal crackers. We got animal crackers in the house now. And wow, frosted animal crackers. I don't give those to Henry. Save those for me. Because it's like, it's so hypocritical. Because I'll be in the kitchen, I'll be eating an animal cracker frosting on it, and he's looking at me. I'm like, these aren't good for you.
Because I want to say, like, 'cause I heard this actually fairly recently. Because Brandy Gatsby has multiple kids, and she had told me that like her breakfast for the past like 15 years, almost every morning, is a Diet Coke and a box of animal crackers.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell her to try the frosted ones. Man, they changed my world. Those are like, wow. And I don't know what the calorie count is on them because here's what I do.
Because fuck it.
Yeah, because fuck it. Here's what I do. Like, Nikki, I picked up that I like them. So she bought a bag. I didn't even look at the back. I didn't even look at the nutrition facts. I just ripped the top of that off, poured them right in a giant Ziploc bag, and threw the original packaging away. I was like, nope, not even gonna look.
Can't be guilty if I don't know.
Exactly. If I don't look, I could probably have 40 of these a day.
If the military's gonna drop "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," I'll adopt it for animal crackers.
Exactly. So thanks for calling, Sean. Good question. Fruit snacks.
Fruit snacks. We can do, if you want to do another one. We're not quite at 2 hours.
What are we at?
157, and that'll truncate down.
All right, one more. I got one more in me. This is from 801. Oh, it's a text. All right. 801 says, yo, Dave, : pulls, PLZ, pulls, don't go, do, fuck up, dis text. Y'all feel? All right, one more. One more. All right, here we go. This is from 801, who says, yo, Dave, : I just fucked up. I just read the same one. This is from 503.
Hey, it's Phil. Do you guys want some more Frog and Toad?
50 cents, Phil.
So this story is called The Dream from the book Frog and Toad.
Okay.
Together.
Let me get
Tyler
my
was asleep.
comfortable
And
position.
he was having a dream. He was on a stage and he was wearing a costume. Tyler looked out into the dark. Dave was sitting in the theater. A strange voice that sounded faintly like Randy Holland from far away said, presenting the greatest man in all the world. Tyler took a deep bow. Dave looked smaller as he shouted, hooray for Tyler! Tyler will now play the piano very well, said the strange voice.
Piano, Phil.
Tyler played the piano, and he did not miss a note. Dave, cried Tyler, can you play the piano like this? No, said Dave. It seemed to Tyler that Dave looked even smaller. Tyler will now walk on a high wire, and he will not fall down. Tyler walked on the high wire. Dave, cried Tyler, can you do tricks like this? No, peeped Dave, who looked very, very small. Tyler will now dance, and he will be wonderful, said the boy. Dave, can you be as wonderful as this, said Tyler, as he danced all over the stage. There was no answer. Tyler looked out into the theater. Dave was so small that he could not be seen or heard. Dave, said Tyler, where are you? There was still no answer. Dave, what have I done? Cried Tyler. The voice said, the greatest man will now... Shut up! Screamed Tyler. Dave, where have you gone? Tyler was spinning in the dark. Come back, Dave, he shouted. I'll be lonely. I'm right here, said Dave. Dave was standing near Tyler's bed. Wake up, Tyler, he said. Dave, is that really you? Said Tyler. Of course it is me, said Dave. And are you your own right size? Asked Tyler. Yes, I think so, said Dave. Tyler looked at the sunshine coming through the window. Dave, he said, I'm so glad that you came over.
Watch
I always
me
do, said Dave.
sleep.
Then Tyler and Dave ate a big breakfast, and after that, they spent a fine, long day together. I think I have a little bit of time left, so I want to direct you guys to YouTube, where there are 30-year-old claymation videos of Frog and Toad stories.
What?
In the show notes. Thank you, gentlemen. Keep reaching for that rainbow.
I like how over time my dad became General Bloodbath McGrath from Wild Wild West. And now Tyler will beat his feet in the Mississippi mud. I think I got the quote right. I haven't seen that in a long time. And I think I fooled around with the girl while you were watching it. So
That was good, Phil. I love it when you do
thank
this.
you, Phil. I love those
I love
two.
it.
Chandra's Erotica and Phil's Frog and Toad.
Could be 2 podcasts on their own. Here's the thing. They can say "shut up" in Frog and Toad. I feel like that's a little.
That did surprise me. That's
a little edgy, isn't it?
That's how sensitive our bleeding liberal hearts are. That we're like, he said "shut up." Where did they learn that kind of disrespect?
Oh my God. Yeah, it is pretty funny coming from 2 dudes talking about fucking
last episode or the future
next episode. Wow, we can't.
We
spoil
might
it.
be talking about something very blue.
So look forward to next episode, the bluest yet.
So that's about our time quota. So
cool.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. So don't miss the next episode. We will be talking about a special Christmas game.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. So, iTunes, still the biggest marketplace. So please help us out. Go to iTunes, subscribe, give us a 5-star written review. And in that review, if there's a game you want us to play or a guest host you want for a certain episode, please include that. And we promise we will get to that eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about a special Christmas game. What? I didn't even know those existed. It's crazy. We're also going to be talking about some really crazy sex stuff. You're going to learn things. So definitely tune in for that. In the meantime, you can always find us at tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. Hey, man, you got probably, 3 hours at work to kill. There's going to be a link to 30 Frog and Toad claymation videos on there. You might as well go to tadpog.com and find them.
Want to make your IT guy a little weirded out?
Man, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with Rob. I keep looking in there and I don't know what he's watching.
I hear like he's listening to something about dicks and then he's listening to Frog and Toad.
You think I should inform somebody? Is there a hotline I could call?
There's a list he needs to be on.
You can also find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. Thank you to everybody who likes us on Facebook. That's awesome. We're trying to catch up to Jacob. It's never going to happen. Jacob is just too fucking awesome. It's
too big.
It's just not going to happen. We can't fight it. We can't. Mm-mm. We cannot compete.
Galen, on the other hand, we can compete with.
Yeah?
Last I checked, we have more likes than Galen.
Well, do you think we can recruit Galen? Get her in on this action?
If we combine together to overthrow
the 3
Jacob,
of us. Yeah.
I think she would be definitely down for that.
Maybe get a couple of wolves. There's probably like a wolves Facebook page.
If we recruit Galen and the wolves.
Galen and the Wolves is like the best name for an indie rock band I've ever fucking heard.
I also like the Facebook page, The Wolves Group. 1.4 million members.
So yeah, like us on Facebook. That stuff might happen. You can always find us on Twitter. We are at @tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. Thank you to everybody who's retweeting us, especially our episode announcements, because that helps spread the word, and we do appreciate that.
Okay, now I want to request fan art for the alternate dark history where Galen and Jacob break up and Galen allies with the wolves. So art of Galen becoming one with the wolves and starting a band or some kind of like murder troupe. I don't know. Galen and the wolves.
So Galen as
very
Princess,
anti-Jacob.
Galen is Princess Mononoke, essentially.
Yes.
Micah, if you want to just Photoshop Galen's face on Princess Mononoke, and be sure to post it and tag her.
And make Jacob upset in the process because I guarantee you it will.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it will. Oh yeah, it will.
Well, I didn't say that in hopes that Jacob would get upset. So never mind. Please don't do that.
I mean, I don't know that for factual, but I see
I don't know.
in my mind's eye. I see it like.
You sounded pretty sure, so please don't do that.
That's a pretty shitty photo job. She's a beautiful girl. I am mad.
Actually, could you edit that out? I don't want Jacob to be mad at me.
Oh, no. He'll be mad if somebody does it. He's already reprimanded Michael once for his behavior.
Oh, I love our adversary. What else? I kind of lost my train of thought. Hey, you want to donate to us? Did you enjoy the 20 driest minutes where we talk about D&D? I did. I really enjoyed that. You want us to keep producing content like that? Reward us.
And if you think you're funny and donate on Patreon, and then if you want to be on and increase your pledge, 50 cents per every episode.
Depends on who you are.
Depends on who you are. There's a rigorous screening process.
So essentially, if you're Phil, well, it's cool.
Yeah. So far that list is Phil. So we'll see.
But yeah, if you want to donate, we love it. You can do so at patreon.com/tadpog. Thank you very, very much to everybody who's already donating. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. We try to make it worth your while. We do produce a monthly bonus episode. The newest one will be coming out on Christmas. On Christmas Day. Yep. So enjoy that.
Our gift to you.
Absolutely.
For giving money to us.
And finally, if you want to give us a call and be on one of our next all-call shows or just maybe at the end of a regular episode, you can do so at 270-883-2555. You can also send us a text, but I'll probably fuck it up.
There's also a box that needs stuffing. So if there's anything
How'd you know about that?
If there's like a game you want us to send for us to play, gross food you want for us, or good foods,
or great food,
or just wonderful, foods. Or if there are black truffles you just really want us to try.
Fruit snacks?
Yeah. That's a good one, Sean.
I know. I'm craving fruit snacks now.
So anything you want to send us to make it on the show, or to decorate the annex and get our eternal gratitude, please send that to Tadpog Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
You remember the Great White fruit snack? Man, that was good.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
It was. I don't know why I built it up. It was like a myth in my mind that the Great White fruit snack was.
Great White fruit.
Yeah, I know. It was it was mythological. It's like I thought they were rare. So it's like when I'd open one and there'd be like, oh, there's one in here.
Oh, shit.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to put these in a separate container and I'll save these. It'll be worth money one day.
It's like the fucking Tootsie Roll Pops with the stars on them. Where it's like, oh, man. Have you never heard this? Oh, man. The rumor was if you get a Tootsie Roll Pop and the wrapper has a star on it, you can bring that wrapper in to a gas station and get a free Tootsie Roll Pop. Yeah, that was the urban legend when I was at Concord Elementary School.
Okay.
Yep. And I remember doing it. I remember getting a Tootsie Roll Pop in school for something, and I remember unwrapping it and being like, "There's a star on here." And I went home and I was super excited, and I was like, "Mom, could you please take me to the gas station down the road because this wrapper has a star on it, and that means that I get a free Tootsie Roll Pop?" And my mom said, "Yes, absolutely." And I'm sure in the back of her mind, she's like, "I'm going to have to buy him a Tootsie Roll Pop and make it seem like he's getting one for free." So I remember going in and I remember picking one out. I was like, "Yep, that's the flavor I want." And I also remember doing the deal where it's like, I'm kind of like looking at the wrapper to see if I can see a star on it. And then I was like, "Oh, I can see a star on this one. So I'll buy this. I'll get this one for free. Keep this free Tootsie Roll Pop train rolling." And then I took it up to the counter.
27 years later, you're still on that train.
And I am flush of Tootsie Roll Pops. Don't even worry about it. You come over to my house, you want something sweet? I got you covered. I set it on the counter, and I just slid the wrapper right on over. And something fucking magical happened. The cashier took the wrapper, said whatever the 80s equivalent of looks legit, and just let me go out the door with the Tootsie Roll Pop.
Huh.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a really cool thing.
It happened. Okay.
It happened. I don't know if my mom went in there with 25 cents or whatever after the fact, but yeah, it happened. It might have just been a cashier who was like, "I'm going to do this kid a solid, and hopefully one day he'll talk about it on a show where he also talks about his butthole and dick."
In that order.
Yep.
Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Link to that track can be found in the show notes at tadpog.com.
Yep. Sorry I extended our episode for about
no, it's good.
4
It's a
minutes.
good story. It was a good story. How do you want to close it out?
Do you have any ideas?
Southern General Randy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
So until next time, Tropical Capricorn. Good, good.
You and him together?
Oh, yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Totally. He won't come out here if I'm not here. He said I would be nervous. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fun.